All right, we are going to record our team call. Sadly, most of you that asked about or had questions that you wanted me to cover aren't even on. So that's not cool, guys. Not cool. So we're going to start with just what the people that are on the call, what do you guys have questions about, and what do you want to cover first? And then I'll tackle some of the other stuff if we have time at the end. So those of you on calls, this is kind of like going to be an open Q&A, what are we struggling with type of call.
All right, I have a question.
Yeah.
Fit camps and engagement, these women come to us and they so desperately want help, and they're like, I need help, I need help, I need help. Then you put them in this group and they're all the same because they all want help, they all need help, they're all the same kind of person. But every time, like, I feel like this is happening to me repeatedly, where they come to me and they'll say, this is what I did, and they're super pumped about it. But I'm like, that's so cool, and I celebrate them. But I also say, let's go share it in the group. Let's start that fire and continue that fire and all that. But it happens like once and then they're done.
Okay.
Like, are you feeling that in your group, or are you implementing anything in your group?
So for me, my groups go through seasons. And I do always tell them, like, hey, let's share this in the group. And then I'll call them out if they don't. So, like, hey, Maddie, like, you share this with me, but, like, why aren't you sharing it in the group? Like, why aren't you continuing this energy in the group? Because I know so many other people would be inspired by it if you share it. And sometimes they will and sometimes they won't, but you can't, ultimately you can't make them. Something that helps in my group is doing like a daily or weekly tally board. So this is something I have an assistant do, and if you're looking for someone to do, he's super cheap, and this is literally all he does for me. He is overseas. Like if you're running a challenge group with somebody else, you guys could split it. But for the post every day, I have him make a tally board overnight, and he posts it like super early in the morning, so that every time like you check in on the daily post, your name is there, like Maddie 1 point, and then Tuesday would be Maddie 2 points, and then like the people that checked in only have one. And then I tell my girls at the end of the week, I'm drawing a name from those who've checked in 5 or more times. That worked for a while, and then it started kind of getting like, and so now what I'm going to be doing is kind of following the October Fit Club graphics that are in the drive, and it's like weekly warriors or something, and it's like these people checked in every day this week. And so I'm just having him post this on Friday afternoons, or Saturday mornings actually, because they still have a chance on Friday. So these people checked in every day this week, Monday through Friday, and I'll pick a winner from that list. So it's only up once, it's not every day. And then a weekend warriors, because I find that my engagement in my group plummets on the weekend. So that'll be posted like Monday morning, and I'm telling them again, like there's another winner just for the weekends. So I'm hoping this will get engagement. But sometimes you just kind of have to like play with it. Is it the posts that are making people like disengaged? You can do a live video and ask them. You can send out individual messages and just ask like, hey, like I'm trying to figure out what's the best direction for this fit community. Is there a reason that you're not as engaged on the post? Is it not a comfortable environment? I think it's always best to poll in the audience. And the very best thing that I can do for like my fit club is to get new people that are super pumped, because they bring up the energy and make other people involved. But it is normal, right? Like, last month, Misty and I ran a group together, and I think it was like pulling teeth by the end of the 3 weeks. And that's why like my very new boot camps, are only 3 weeks and then they graduate into the fit club. But I think like weekly check-ins for those new people, I check in at the end of every week, their first month, with them through email. And there's templates in the drive, but I send them like just a short email like, hey, Maddie, like I wanted to check in with you at the end of your first week. I see that you're logging your workouts and your Shakeout every day. Like, way to go. That should be something you're proud of. What are you struggling with? What went well this week? Or I say, I see that you're logging your workouts every day, but not your Shakeology. Is there a reason you're not being consistent? That kind of thing. I check in with anyone new that's like that for the first 4 weeks at the end of every week. And then I check in with them monthly after that.
Thank you.
There's nothing like a good like $10 Starbucks giveaway though. Like you could pick 1 week out of the month and be like, hey guys, like I want to finish the month out strong. Everyone who checks in every day this week is going to go into a drawing for a $10 gift card. You know, make your own requirements or something like that. Okay. Anybody else have questions? There is tomorrow. I am leading those mentorship calls that are Coach to Emerald is 8 to 8:30. Diamonds. Wait, no, this is wrong. Crap. What are they broken down? Coach rank is 8 to 8:30. Is that right? Then Emeralds. Shoot, you guys, I can't remember. Emeralds are 8:30 to 9, and then diamonds and above are 9 to 9:30. That might be wrong. I think that's right. I'll double check.
MK, it's Veronica. Yeah. So when you're doing your Fit Club, are you running that ongoing in the app, or is it a Facebook group?
I use the app always and forever. I find a lot of my people don't even have Facebook anymore or aren't using Facebook, or the notifications get lost in Facebook. They forget to check Facebook. So I feel like the app, I also like that I'm able to track on the app. So like that's how I send those weekly emails. I can click on your name in that actual app, and then it will show me a calendar of like how many you've logged, Shakeout, and your workouts. And that's how I send the email, and I know how they're logging, because I 100% do not have time to scroll through Facebook and tally up who's logging their stuff.
Okay, because right now, currently, we have 2 groups going. It's our Morning Meltdown group, and it's in Facebook. And then we have our ongoing accountability group that's also on Facebook. And I've talked to a couple of my challengers, and I think they have more of the app. So I think I'm likely going to move that direction versus staying in, because I've even the new people that I've been signing up, they're like, I don't really do technology. So I was finding that a challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to move the people though that are currently in the Facebook group to the app, because I think they've been used to being in the group, and I don't want to throw anybody off and deter them from continuing.
So I'll just take a poll, or move everybody. Just shut the whole group down and move to the app.
Okay.
Or ask them, hey, we're moving to the app. Would you participate? Do you want to move? I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions? Comments? Questions? No one. Okay. Well, unmute yourself if you have a question. I'm going to go ahead and start talking about objections. So this is something that a lot of you guys, when I asked what you wanted training on, am I frozen for anyone else? On the most beautiful face. I mean, not that you're getting much better because this is the way it is. Anyway, I wonder why. That's weird. Let's see if that works. So there we go. This is something that most of you guys said you wanted training on is objections. And first, you can never have enough training on how to combat objections. I swear I listen to the National Wake Up Call every week. I'll go to the Team Beachbody 411 page, all the Facebook, the Beachbody Champions page, like every week, and listen to a training, and someone always says something about like how they combat objections, whether it's challengers, coaches, or whatever. You can never stop learning. Go to YouTube. I had you guys do that for a reason. Go to YouTube because there's just so much, and everyone has different ideas, and you can play along with it, right? If something hasn't been working for you, take someone else's script, make it yours, and try that. I'm constantly changing it up constantly to see what I have better success with. So the first thing I want you to know is objections are normal, and they're part of this business. So if you are freaking out that the one person that you thought was going to be interested for October is now ghosting you and giving you objections, welcome to the business. This is how it is. You need to go find 10 more people. Like, you should be talking to a lot of people. You've got to up your numbers. I say this all the time, but you guys, I've had a share cut out since the 10th of September. And if I put all my eggs in her basket, I would have not hit Success Club last month, Success Club 10. So she just ghosted me. I followed up. She's been wanting in, everything, right? That's part of this. I'm still following up with her, but like, you are going to hear no, and you're going to hear objections. So the first thing you need to know is that's part of this. Go find more people that need your help, because there are people that need your help. You're just stopping because you had 2 people mildly interested, and now they're ghosting you, and you feel like a failure in this business. But that's not the reality. It's not that you're a failure. It's that those people aren't ready. So go freaking find the ones that are, okay? And more on objections. Some of you guys mentioned specifically people ghosting you. There's nothing you can do about it, you guys. Like, I don't know what kind of advice to give you. You can't, follow up with them. And then something I love to do is I call out the elephant in the room. Hey, Sindel, like, I know that you are interested, and I don't want to be bugging you, so feel free to tell me if you're not interested anymore. But my group is starting on Monday, and I just wanted to hear from you. So could you let me know either way if you want to be in this group or not? Like, I follow up, and then after like 2 or 3 times of like trying to, hear back from them, I let it go until the next month, and then I'll re-invite them to my next group. Okay, so like, ghosting is normal. It happens to all of us. It's probably nothing that you're doing. Just call out the elephant in the room and ask if they still want in. Price objections. So raise your hand if you get a lot of price objections. Okay. Now in the chat, I want to hear what you guys normally say if I were to tell you, oh, Sarah, that's too expensive. I can't afford that. What do you guys say?
Are you taking anyone's thoughts?
Yeah, type it in the chat though.
Oh, in chat.
Yeah. It's cheaper than a gym membership. Okay, Megan, but I don't have a gym membership. I can't afford that either. So now what? Yep. Share your story about how you started and it was a sacrifice for you too. Yep. Break it down and then show how cost effective it is. I've even broken it down to daily prices. Yes. Love that. Laura, you don't sign up because you have money lying around. That was on something recently, but because you're ready for healthier you, like the National Wake Up Call, maybe. Feel, felt, found sometimes works. Compare it to what they're currently paying for. Megan, that's awesome that you share that you're able to make back what you put into it in the first week as being a coach. So offering the coaching opportunity right off the bat. That's awesome. Always relating it back. Break it down super far and usually hear, oh, wow, that's actually super affordable. I think Beachbody is so expensive. So less than 40 to 60 cents a day. Shaco is one meal for $5 a day. It's actually cheaper than that. So here's kind of how I break down cost. Oh, Eskimos are expensive up there. I mean, I don't understand. The ice is free at least. So they could just go get a handful and put it in a cup and it's like a Frosty. Okay, so here's kind of how research how much it would cost to be trained by one of these trainers. That's a perspective I have never heard before, and that is smart. Wow. Miss Kippy, do you know how much, like off the top of your head, like how much it costs for like a personal training session with Autumn or something like that? Yes, Maggie. You got it all. Okay, so here is how, also Maggie, I keep staring at your picture and it's like very happy and it's weird because you're not moving. Okay, so what I do is I tell them, like, I hear a lot of people say it's just not in my budget right now. And this is before I even give them the price. So have you noticed that? Like people will say, oh, I just, we're super tight on money right now. And I used to be like, oh, okay, like maybe you could save until next month. Like, do you go to Starbucks? Do you eat out? Kind of going that route and saying like, maybe you can save until next month. But I realized I hadn't even told them how much it cost yet. So two things that I've been doing. One, I ask them, hey, Leanne, what would you say your budget is for the year for fitness? After they've told me that they can't afford it. Okay, well then what's your budget? What is your budget for fitness for a year? And most of the time people come back and tell me like $300, $350 or something. And so then I'm like, oh girl, you are in luck because this isn't anywhere near that. It's actually only $150 for the year. And that also comes with one meal a day for a month. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize it was that cheap. Another avenue I've been taking, like if they do tell me, oh, it's $150, okay, that's too expensive, I break it down. Hey girl, like I know it seems like a lot up front, but it's actually like less than $15 a month. And you get 30 days of my favorite superfoods to try every day. So it's like essentially getting them super cheap. Cheaper than any protein you can get at the store. And I also ask I've also been saying like, if you have Netflix, you can afford this. If you can afford Netflix every month, which by the way is so freaking expensive these days, it's $14 for Netflix. You can afford this. You can afford Netflix for your workouts. Netflix for your workouts is cheaper than real Netflix, you guys. So that's kind of how I've been going about cost objections. But bottom line, again, you're always going to have people that won't invest, and you put them on a follow-up list. And you go back to it. Because there's always going to be people that don't see the value. What I would do with all these people that are saying they can't afford it, okay, girl, I have a free group actually coming up in a couple weeks, and I'd love to put you on my list for that. That way they can see what you do for free. You're still helping them. You're still giving them something of value, and you're still building a relationship with them, so that you're not just coming around every month. Hey, you want to buy this again? Hey, you can afford this now. Have you been saving for the last 6 months for $150? Like, come on. So keep building that relationship. $750 for 15 sessions. Actually, a single session at $65 doesn't even seem that bad.
I paid $150 for training for college. An hour.
Wait, what?
An hour. It's ridiculous.
For sports?
Yeah, I had to relearn how to run.
What?
I know. It's black hole.
That's an interesting story. I'd love to hear later. Allie, I found people have researched the cost ahead of time, but they get confused because they saw so many numbers on the Beachbody site. Yeah. So that's when I tell them, like, hey, that's why it's beneficial to have a coach. Like, here's the best package deal and the deal that also gets you into my group. So that's how I say it, right? Because a lot of people are like I just had someone message me last night. Hey, I saw that you had a $20 off code. Does that work for Beachbody On Demand? And I was like, no, it doesn't. Beachbody On Demand never goes on sale, but this allows you to get and try Shakeology for $50. So just telling them, like, this is the best package deal and it gets you into my groups. Any other thoughts on price objections? Anyone else finding anything that's going well that you say that you're having a lot of success with?
I talk to you.
What?
I don't like typing.
Yeah.
Okay. I think when it comes to price, what's helped me the most is by just genuinely hyping up the fact that it's like an incredible deal. Like when I tell people it's actually I actually love when they start bringing up price. I actually love sharing this because it's way cheaper than anything I've ever done for my health and fitness, and blah blah blah. It's actually extremely affordable, and then I kind of keep going. Like I kind of like present it that way because I'm like, this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I
then
do.
they usually are like, yeah, that's a great deal. Like they would be silly to not. Usually they do. They say, yeah, that's a really great deal. But whatever.
Yeah, I think if we go into it thinking, oh gosh, once I tell them it's going to be $150, they're going to back out. No, stop. You guys know what a good value this is. I signed up with, what was my first program? I can't even remember because it wasn't Pio because I got that pirated. But maybe I did actually buy it after that. I can't remember. But it was like $160 or $180, and I just got one DVD program, single, uno, and then I bought every one after that. Now the DVDs sit in my closet. So, like, having, you guys know what a good, I don't need to go into how this is a great value. You know that already. So don't be afraid going into it because I do think people can hear that. What other objections are you guys getting? Or need help combating? Time. Seriously?
I know. It's kind of crazy. They're like, oh my God. They just say that they're so busy they don't have time. And I'm like, my workouts are 20 to 30 minutes long. Like I just share my story about starting in grad school. I've moved 3 times, well, will be 3 times in 3 months. Like, and I've worked out at least 5 times a week, like at least.
So,
and so crazy.
Do you ever ask if they're worried about time for workouts, or do they mean time for like nutrition?
I have not asked. A good
So
question.
that would be a good question to ask when someone says, I don't have time. I would say, like, I don't know if you mean like time to work out or time to do all the other things. Like, I get it. Eating healthy and planning for all that is time consuming. It is. And here's why we have a nutrition program that is like perfect for busy people, and you can literally eat out for almost every meal and still make it work. To be mindset. But if you're worried about having time for your workouts, I 100% guarantee, and I tell this to people, there is 20 minutes somewhere in your day that you can fit this in. There is somewhere in your day, 20 minutes. You can wake up earlier. You can do it on your lunch break. You can stop scrolling social media at night. You have 20 minutes somewhere in your day. And if you feel like you don't, we have a 10-minute program. 10 minutes every day. Maybe that's all you can handle during this crazy season of life. And then once that becomes a habit, you can up it to 20 minutes. And once that becomes a habit, you can up it to 30. And most of our programs are 30 minutes or less. But ultimately, still, on the time, you guys, they don't want to make time. And we are health coaches, and sometimes it's okay for you to call out their crap. Like, I've gotten to the point where, like, with some people, I'm like, hey, girl, like, I can't make you make time, but we're all busy. No one has time floating around. And so when this becomes a priority for you, you'll find a way to squeeze it in. And I would love to coach you and help you through that. But when it has to be when you're ready. And I think that's okay to say, because a lot of times they know it. Sarah, people like the social aspect of the gym. This is the one that I find the most and have the hardest time combating. And first, if they have something that's working for them, you can't provide a solution where there is no problem, right? Home workouts are not going to be for everyone. And we're wasting our time trying to convince people that they are the best. So with people that are diehard gym goers, first I ask about how many times they actually make it to their class, because I've had people tell me they do Camp Gladiator or Pure Barre or whatever, and I ask, so how many days a week do you go? Oh, well, most of the time I make it to 2 classes a week. And I say, well, what do you do on the other days? Oh, well, I find something online. Oh, well, this is perfect for fitting in those other days that you don't go, or where if you have to travel. But if they're like, oh yeah, I go 5 days a week, I always have my classes, this is what I love, I ask, okay, well, how's your nutrition? Like, do you struggle? It sounds like you're doing great with fitness. Is nutrition a struggle for you? Are you needing help with your nutrition? And that's where you can talk about the meal plans and Shakeology, or you can ask, like, hey, do you use any supplements? Do you use a pre-workout? Do you use like a protein? Are you looking for something that's super clean and like heavily researched? And you can tell them about the performance line.
You can also tell them that you can do programs at the gym, which is how Mary Catherine pretty much got me, because I was so sick and tired of making my own program, like making my own workouts and then not really seeing results, spending 2 hours at the gym, wasting time. And then I finally did Hammer and Chisel, and it was like a game changer. And I was like, yep, I'm like never doing this again. So I would bring my phone to the gym, I would set it up, follow it, be in and out in 45 minutes, better shape than working out for 2 hours.
You need to do an Instagram live on that, FYI.
I know I do.
And tag me so I can share it, because it's definitely all my doing. Actually, Cinda was like pulling teeth. I was like, please just trust me for like 2 weeks. Just take it to the gym and do it. And she's like, oh, I like my thing. Blah, blah, blah. I love the gym. But it works. Okay. Anybody else have objections? Things that are working, things that aren't? I mean, I think what you guys all have to know, and you have to know this, is that people are going to tell you no over and over and over. I cannot tell you guys how many times I hear no. Really, truly. And I used to sit there as like a newer coach and I'd just be like, yeah, but she gets a lot of yeses too. It's just because I invite a crap ton more people. Like I probably send out 400 to 500 invites a month, you guys. And you've seen my Success Club numbers. They're not off the charts. Last month I hit Success Club 10 and sent the most invites I ever have this entire year. Okay. That's a lot of freaking no's, and that's a lot of freaking people that didn't ever answer me back. Okay. So you've just got to invite, which leads me to something else that I think it was Kate brought up, is like, she said she hears me say that I invite that many people, but where are they from? Okay. It is constant. You have to constantly be filling your funnel. If you take a day off, you're going to feel it next month. Okay. You've got to be adding to your network every day. You've got to be building those relationships so that you do have people that are going to follow you back and that you're building a relationship with and that you have to invite. Another huge thing is free groups. You guys, I have neglected this for a few months and I felt it. I felt it. Okay. Run a free group, partner up. Allie said she wanted to partner up with somebody. I have a Halloween hit group in our Google Drive that's always good for this time of the year. Next month, I'm doing a crock pot group. This time of the year is my biggest time for free groups. Thought I heard a kid. So do a free group to get your momentum rolling and like actually put in the work for a free group. Don't just like put up a free group and ask people to join it. You've got to spend time really inviting, talking in your stories over and over and over for like a week. You've got to spend time inviting to a free group, or else you're going to have 10 people in your free group. Like make it your goal to have at least 50 people in your free group. Follow, like actually look at the document that I give you guys for free group directions and invite them all personally at the end of the group into your next challenge group. And then another thing on expanding your network and inviting is don't neglect the people that you already have following you. Sometimes we can get so caught up in like upping that followers number, like, and wanting to see it go higher, that we forget about the 100 people that are already following us. And I get it. You feel like you've already tapped it there, then be focusing on expanding your network. But don't forget about the followers that you have. I built this business for the first 3.5 years, probably having like 2,000 or 3,000 followers, maybe. So it's possible. And I have almost 8,000 followers right now. My engagement is at an all-time low. So followers means nothing. 0 things. Okay? Good. Anything else? Anything? Or anybody else have any tips on building their network? What's been working? What's going well?
I don't know if it's so much more of as a tip, but I've noticed that lately when I go to my Instagram and I'm putting in my hashtags and I find the people that I want to connect with, I genuinely want to make connections with the people that I'm adding. I'm not just adding randos. So when I go on, I'll follow the 3, I think it's called the 311 method. I heard it on an NWC call a couple of days ago, where I go in, I like 3 of their photos and I comment on 1. And then if I see them follow me back, I instantly message them and, just talk about something. And it's been working. Like I think I've increased my network like by 150 in the last like 2 or 3 weeks since I've started doing it.
That's awesome.
I'm also following too many people. So when we had that discussion at retreat about cleaning up, I was like, oh man, I got to do that.
I wouldn't, like I said at the retreat, I would not spend your business hours unfollowing people. That's like a fluff activity. That's like a, I have nothing to do right now, I'll unfollow people. Or I'm sitting in front of the TV watching a show for an hour, I'll unfollow people. That is not going to help your business or move it forward. And for the first forever of my business, I did not care. Maybe it makes more like of an impact now. I don't really know because Instagram's always changing and I never keep up. And Erin's always telling me what is new with Instagram. But I don't know. But Erin, could you talk real quick about the new unfollow system that you're doing?
Yes. Okay, so I grow by about, sorry, I'm making sure she doesn't fall off the bed. Hold on. I'm like 70 to 100 a week. So I follow a lot of people. And the only reason why I do this is because we want to have a second kid eventually. So I'm always, can y'all still hear me? Can you hear me? Mary Catherine, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry, it said unstable connection. So we want to have a second kid, and so I'm always thinking like 9 months from now, can I leave my other job? That's the only reason why I follow in such high numbers. So I do a mass follow of like 80 girls in a day, 80 to 100. And then I go back through and I like the first 4 photos. I don't comment. I'm going to be honest. And this isn't a good or a bad thing. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. But my thought is like, I was doing the 5-3-1. Is that what it's called, Mary Catherine? But I found like I was doing so much front energy for somebody who like may or may not even follow me back. And so I kind of like met them halfway in the middle. It's like, I'm gonna like 4 of your photos. That's gonna get your attention. You're gonna look at my thing. You're either gonna like me or you're not. And then if they follow me, I initial message, I save them in a collection that's dated by the month. And then I just like whenever I'm doing either ABC method to connect with my people, or I go to that saved collection. So I'm either doing ABC or I'm going to my like October girls. And they are my highest priority for commenting. But I only comment if you've already followed me. If not, it just takes way too long. But the problem with my method is if I'm following 80 to 100 girls a day, you can imagine my numbers get real messy real quick. So I'm like following 3,000 people and only 2,000 something are following back. So what I've done is I go into my following, the people I'm following, and I sort them by date. The most recent at the top and the oldest at the bottom. I scroll down to halfway because in my head I'm like, if I scroll halfway, these are the girls I followed like 2 weeks ago. They're safe. Like if you haven't followed me back by now, you're not going to be my bud for this round. So I go and I like test them, right? So I'm looking at my people I'm following list and I'm like, click. And if it lets me unfollow you, it means you were a public account. And what I find is I go unfollow, 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 unfollow. And they're like kind of in batches because you realize like when you mass follow, the public accounts are going to give you instant access. So they're batched in the people you're following list. So I'll find like a batch of like 20 public accounts that I can go like unfollow, 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 unfollow. And then when I get to where it pops up that notification of this person is a private account, you're going to have to re-request. I'm like, eek, that's a problem. I don't want to unfollow you because when I go back to my ABC method for engagement, I'm going to need access to you. Regardless of because you're probably following me or you gave me access to you. So it's going to be awkward. And it takes too much effort for me to figure out if you're following me or not. And then if I run out of public accounts to unfollow really quickly, I will, like I did today, unfollow 20 private accounts. But I will check. I'll go to their people they're following. I should be at the top. If I'm not, sorry, we're not friends anymore. So that's my system. Sorry if that was too much info.
No, I'm glad it's recorded because I know people are going to be like, what? That's like the second or third time I've heard it, and I'm finally wrapping my brain around it. So you guys can listen to the recording and replay it over and over and do it on your phone um, if you want to get your number right or better. Yes, Allie, she only does the collection when they follow her back.
Yeah. And I have a point about that, Mary Catherine. So Mary Catherine was walking me through her inviting story watchers method again. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. This is going to be my new jam. And then like I did it for the third day today. And I was like, they're all repeats. Like I saw somebody on the thread, like you only get 5 new viewers. And I'm like, is it worth me looking through these 300 people to find the 5 needles in the haystack? So what I do instead is I just invite entire collections of girls. So anyone who has followed me that month gets an invite. I don't care if you're watching my stories or not. You follow me, you let me into your world. So you can either like kick me out of your world, and by that point, I've followed you, I've liked 4 of your photos, I've sent you an initial message, and chances are I've commented on your photos when I've been going back to that collection throughout the month and like tried to ask you some questions. So if I've had like 4 points where I'm trying to love on you and then I send you an invite, it's not like I'm super creeper. And you can like never respond or you can unfollow me, and that's cool. But so I think it lets me up my numbers of people I invite, and I don't have to filter through my stories. But that's not that you shouldn't do it. You should do what Mary Catherine says.
No, I mean, you want, my mother keeps calling. Which is ironic because she hasn't offered to come over here and help me at all since Sherry's been gone. So for me, I do my stories. I do 10 to 20 story invites the first thing I wake up, like before I open messages, before I go into any thread, like I start my day off in that habit, or else I will never do it. And so I have about 500 people that watch my stories, which is not great for almost 8,000 followers, but whatever. And so I just scroll down to the bottom, and even if I've invited them from another lovely, even if I have invited them from my stories before, they're getting another invite because they're still watching me work out on my stories. So, okay. So we are going long here, but does anyone else have any questions?
I have a quick one. It's not about combating objections, but what if you have someone that is looking for a new, I guess, program or whatever? Do you just sign them up with a nutrition program off the bat, or do you suggest them going with the new program that's out, like the work? Because I've noticed that when I've mentioned to people the 2B Mindset or the Ultimate Portion Fix programs, the challenge packs, it's more expensive for the nutrition than it is for the work. So should I just automatically give them?
I ask them what they want. Like if they're wanting workouts and nutrition, I sign them up with whatever challenge pack is on sale, which is the work right now for $150. And then I tell them at the end, it's going to pop up with a special offer to add on the 2B Mindset package. And I think it's like digital, it's like $50.
Okay.
And so I tell them, like, you're getting an entire nutrition program. You're getting workouts for a year, and you're getting Shakeology for a month for $200. And that's actually the package that I always start with.
Okay.
That it's $200. You get a nutrition program, all the workouts for a year, and my groups and Shakeology. And then if they're like, oh, that's way too expensive, I say, okay, like you can drop the nutrition program if you want. But usually the people that I find want workouts too.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no more questions, and if there is, you guys can unmute yourself and ask. But I just want to give you guys a heads up into the week ahead. Tomorrow, the mentorship calls from 8 to 8:30 is coaches. 8:30 to 9 is emeralds, and 9 to 9:30 is diamonds and above. I will be running these. They're for the entire downline plus all of Micah's downline. They are just come with questions, get any answers, brainstorm, kind of hear what other people have to say. And on Monday, the Healthy for the Holidays group starts. If you are a new coach and you need to be added to a group, you have like one girl who needs to be added in. They can be into mine. You can ask your upline if they're doing one, but you don't have to run a group all by yourself. And the work group starts day 1. If you are doing the work and you're starting on Monday, make sure you let me know. If you have any girls that are doing the work and starting on Monday, let me know. Prep week is already open. We are in there for that. We have a live work session next week, a week from today. I will be in Arizona for leadership next weekend, starting on Wednesday. So Sindel will be running our work call for us next week. This is a live power hour, so a chance to get tips, a chance to just show up for accountability. Every Thursday are those mentorship calls. They're different times. Make sure you guys are looking at the calendar. Something that I do every Sunday is look at the calendar and see what's ahead so that you can know like when to start sharing about a sneak peek, when to start advertising for your free group, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So make sure you look at the calendar. It's important. And hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully it was.